Hello everyone, this is Daren with Madcaptoys. We are bringing you some Madcaptoys news that is about an update that recently has taken place with Hasbro toys, and it's dealing with the game Monopoly. Now, in this article that you see is by Newsmax News, they're going to describe to us some of the changes that are coming, and I've got another one that I'm going to put out here that's comparable about the same news later on in another video, but it's going to be from Fox, which is basically another semi-conservative news outlet. But I saw this and I just wanted to talk about it because many of you guys know about the Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head scandal that took place, where Hasbro all of a sudden said, hey, we're going to change it. We're getting rid of Mr. Potato Head. We're getting rid of Mrs. Potato Head. We're just going to make the Potato Head. Where basically you're not going to have male nor female, but you're able to play it like whatever you want it to be, I guess. Well, that didn't last no time, and then all of a sudden they changed their mind. They backpedaled. Well, Hasbro so far has not backpedaled on this announcement, to my knowledge, as of the release of this video that you should see it. And this information's been out there almost for a month and a half. And I've waited because as soon as, like I said, with Mr. and Mrs. Potato, they backtracked after they depleted their inventory of Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, by the way. So they sold a bunch of toys at rock bottom prices, and people thought they was going to get a mint for them, and they was going up to $40 and $50 for a $5 and $10 toy. And now people are stuck with a toy that's overpriced. All right, let's look on here. The classic board game Monopoly alters community chess for woke times. Now, you will be getting some of my personal commentary on this, guys, as we do. Usually, this is by Brian Truesdale. And, guys, I'm going to say this to you. I don't usually read off word for word verbatim, but I don't want anyone accusing me of making anything up either. Most of the time, you guys don't. But we do once in a while have a guy or gal that comes through and says, oh, they didn't say that, or you misunderstood this. Well, guys, this is going to be taken verbatim, and you can read along with me if you want to. Toy maker Hasbro is changing the time-honored classic board game Monopoly by altering the community chess cards, saying they are long overdue for a refresh. And by the way, as we go down through this, you're going to see they're not just altering the community chess cards, they're altering a lot of the concepts of this game. And you're going to be seeing what I'm saying, depending on what color or race or gender you are. Excuse me. Without specifying specific events, Hasbro pointed to the tumultuous year of 2020 as the inspiration for dropping "You won second place in a beauty contest," or a tax refund, or a bank error is in your favor. Fans of the game will get to vote on new options. And I almost guarantee those fans of the game are probably going to be pseudo-employees of Hasbro that get to tell the rest of us what they want to change in our game. Coming out of this year, the term community has taken on a whole new meaning. The company said on its website, Hasbro is counting on our fans to help reflect what community means in their real lives going into the Monopoly game by voting for new cards like Shop Local, Rescue a Freaking Puppy, or Help Your Neighbors. All community chess cards will be replaced by the fall. The world has changed a lot since Monopoly became a household name for 85 years ago. And clearly today, community is more important than ever, said Eric Nyman. Yeah, I hope I said that right without butchering his name. The chief consumer officer at Hasbro. Have you guys ever noticed, though, taking a breath here, these guys never seem to know anything themselves. They have to ask everybody out there, what's the common trend to the touchy-feely generation? You know, what is important to you? When a lot of us guys, honestly with you, just want to play a game. We don't care about the politics of it. And frankly, none of us really care what anybody else thinks is important. We're just here to play a game. This is not life. This is not about life. It is about having fun. And Hasbro, you need to get your head out your butt, like Disney, and you need to let us have fun with our games that basically you didn't create, you purchased when you purchased the company. I don't remember if it's Parker Brothers or Milton Bradley or whoever originally created Monopoly. I can't remember at this time. But whoever it was, they just meant for us, the founders of those companies, to have fun, right? It says, like, we felt like 2021 was the perfect time to give fans the opportunity to show the world what community means to them through voting on new community chest cards. Again, I'm going to say bull. We're really excited to see what new cards get voted in. Options for voting on the Monopoly website will include voting between you rescue a puppy and you feel rescued today. 2. Get out of jail for free and your friends video chat after a tough day. Get out of jail for free. Again, other voting options include just when you think you can't go another step, you finish that foot race and raise money for your local hospital. Is anybody noticing a trend here? Okay, advance to go. Collect $200 or you shopped local all week. Advance to go and collect $200. It's all about making you feel good, guys. This is not what we wanted when we played the game. Other scenarios include rewards for visiting with an elderly neighbor, patronizing the school bake sale, or donating blood, which, by the way, guys, most of the schools in Indiana that I'm aware of right now don't want you to have bake sales because sugar, right? And it can make your kids fat. The game originally sold in 1935 is based on the buying and selling of properties, developing them, and collecting rent from players landing on them. I'm surprised they don't have a card you get free rent, with the intent of monopolizing the board and driving the other players into bankruptcy, which sounds very cruel, doesn't it? The properties are all based on streets in Atlantic City, New Jersey. All those specific versions also exist, specialty versions also exist. A Mrs. Monopoly version was released by Hasbro in 2019, in which the girl and women's players begin the game with $1,900, and boys and men's players start with $1,500. By the way, that's what we call sexist, people. I won't sell that game, Hasbro, and I will not play that game, because if we're all working for an equal, genderless, biased society, why are you penalizing men because they have a part and women's lack that part? Why are you benefiting women because they have certain parts and men don't? That is just bigoted biasness, and that is racist in a lot of ways. Okay, and even though racist is the wrong word, it's genderless. It's wrong. Additionally, women and girls get $240 for pass and go, while boys and men receive only the standard $200. Now, again, do you not see a problem here? This is gender bias. And if you had it where men got a bias bonus, there would be some woke female out there that would be complaining. And I'll be honest with you, I don't care if it's men or women, either one. If you're going to have a fair game, then have a fair game to where we can play a game with the same expectations of winning. You're not impressing me if you win a game if you're getting $500 extra dollars to start, or $440 each time extra that you go around a board. Well, you ought to win that. It's already set up for you to win. Hell, why don't you give them a discount on buying each property of about 25% then too? Other changes including the properties being replaced by inventions by women and a mascot. Rich Uncle Pennybags is removed in favor of a young woman character described as his niece. Okay, whatever. Not buying the game. Guys, this is here, as you look down through here, this to me is important news. And it's not all about just the fact that, whipping out the community cards to make everybody feel good. It's also the changing of a game to where now they have to have a Mrs. Monopoly game. And I'm sorry, I don't want to play a Mrs. Monopoly game, because when I played Monopoly as a kid, or if I was to play it today with my family members, I don't care if it's Mr. or Mrs. Monopoly. We're just there trying to enjoy ourselves as a family get-together. When we play these kind of games, we play these games during the holidays. That's about the only time we have enough time to play these games. We play them after Thanksgiving dinner sometimes. We play them after Christmas dinner sometimes, or we'll play them during Christmas week. For instance, we'll play, let's say, Risk sometimes. We'll have a group of us, and a bunch of the guys are going to stay all night or whatever, and the family members will, the grandkids, etc., and we'll get together and we'll have 6 of us all challenge each other. And the same for Monopoly. But I would not play a game where my daughter-in-law would get $500 more or $400 more at the start of a game, and I get $1,500. That automatically means she can buy more property, not because she's better than me, but because she's got more money than me. Just think, do the math. And then every time you go past go for 5 rounds, I get $1,000. 5 rounds, my wife would get $1,080 or so, or 1,100 if you want to do it that way. Again, that's not impressive. That doesn't mean you're better than people if you're getting a leg up. If you're getting a ladder to help you get up higher than the other person, and the other person doesn't get a ladder, that doesn't mean you're good. It means the game was rigged in your favor. To me, this ought to be the ultimate insult to girls and gals and men and women that look to live a different lifestyle or something. To me, it's not about playing a game for fun. It's honestly about saying, hey, you guys have been somehow downtrodden for however long, and we're going to give you a benefit because of your gender in the Mrs. Monopoly game. Or in this new community set that they're talking about redoing, they're not making people say, hey, you're working hard for this money, you're trying to win this game, and your goal is to take and win the game of life as it was and beat your opponents. No, it's about making you feel good. Everything's about making you feel good. If you're so low that you have to have a game like this make you feel good, then guys, you don't need to play this game. My personal opinion is Hasbro's missed the mark on this, just like they did Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. Keep politics out of games and let people have fun. Let the games be updated. Sure, I have no problem with that. But don't make it gender biased. Don't make it racially biased. Don't make it sexually biased. Let people of all genders, of all sexes, of all takes and walks in life sit down with their friends, their brothers, their sisters, their aunts, their uncles, their moms, their dads, whatever the case is, male, female, straight or gay, I don't care. Let them have fun. Keep politics out of these games. Let our kids and our grandkids grow up and have fun. Don't bring the trash of Washington to these games. Don't bring your ethical bias and your BS to these games. It's just BS, guys. You guys in Hasbro need to wonder, why are the toys not selling like they used to? Well, you're not creative enough, for one. Number two, you guys have bought up all your competition, so you haven't had to no longer create new lines of toys very often to take and get a leg up over anybody. You've got what? Playmate, you've got Mattel, you've got a couple other little toy lines like Nika and a few like those that you're competing against. But you're not really competing against too many companies like you used to, like Ideal and Parker Brothers and all these various guys that did everything from action figures to Light Bright and all these various toys that were created. And people's ingenuity used to just be rolling. Why? Because there was different research groups trying to get an edge over the competitors to make the best toy. That's what we're lacking today from Hasbro, Mattel, and a lot of other toy lines. But since this is Hasbro doing this, I'm talking to Hasbro primarily. You guys need to put your money and your brain power into making toys that people want to buy. And also, don't forget to look at the demographics. Until the demographics pick up and people start having more kids, toy sales, by and large, are going to wane a tad. And, another thing that's hurting the toy lines for Hasbro is the toy deals they make. They shouldn't be just locked up with Disney or whoever. They need to create their own toy lines, their new toy lines, and get like they did in the 80s and make toys based upon cartoon characters and create some of that themselves, and not allow Hollywood to create all of their visionary toys. right? There's nothing wrong with making toys for people that, let's say, like Marvel, or people that like DC, the comic world. That's great. But maybe Hasbro needs to create, like they did in the day, G.I. Joe. But who else could they make? I don't know, but they can come up with somebody. They're a company with billions of dollars. Mattel and them made, Barbie and Masters of the Universe. They can create somebody else. The problem is these toy companies have got lazy and just sat back on their laurels and let the Hollywood companies create the avatars and the Disney products and the whatever black hole movie is out today, let's say. I mean, that's your problem. Everybody's waiting on a movie to make a toy instead of creating toys that people want to play with. They probably don't even sit down and talk to their kids and say, what kind of toys would you want? That's what the toy companies are missing today, is creativity. And that is why they keep playing these ploys like Hasbro did to get rid of a bunch of toy lines and excess stock of Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. They said, let's do a ploy and say we're getting rid of Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, which made no sense. Because at the end of the day, no matter what people say, there's still going to really be two sexes. Okay, guys, I'm sorry, but I just have to say it. Maybe it's old school to you, but I'm sorry, it's true. You're male or female. We knew that in kindergarten back in 1970, whenever it was I went, 72, 3, whatever. We knew that. You had a girl's bathroom, you had a boy's bathroom. We need to keep all this garbage out of kids' life and lives until they get 18 years old, and then they can decide what they want to do. Okay? That's all I'm saying here. Hasbro, leave politics and social events and social change out of this game and just let people play games and have fun. All right, well, guys, my name is Daren Lester. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. Feel free to comment, share this, like it, and don't forget, subscribe, smash that bell button so you get future updates of toy news as it happens here with us at Madcap Toys. All right, thank you so much. Bye-bye.